The Boston Celtics sale is officially official. We'll talk about that. And fans keep asking the Celtics to make 2 critical mistakes this season. We'll talk about that and all of everything Celtics right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis. Recap the madness every game, every practice. Prime time, Depp and D White on the sideline. Rain and Jace, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them usually every day, Monday through Friday. For the next couple of weeks in the downtime, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday with bonuses whenever things happen. So subscribe. That's the only way to know when a new show drops. It gets dropped directly to your device. It's free. It's everywhere. It's on YouTube. Get into the comments section. Share your thoughts with me. I'm John Karalis. I'm a beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I've been doing a version of this job for about 20 years. I've also written a couple of books about the Boston Celtics. Today's show brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. The Celtics officially announced the sale to Bill Chisholm. That is done. It is all official, approved, announced, all of that stuff. We'll talk about that. And big mistakes that in this discussion that we've been having all summer in the second and third segments, we'll talk about the mistakes that the fans are asking Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum to make. And we're going to do that. I say we, because it's time to talk to Tom Westerholm.
What up?
Tom, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. As I told you before, I am fine and dandy. Just and, not.
2 things.
I'm 2 things. I'm
That's
fine
right.
and dandy.
Yes.
So we're ready to rock. Oh.
Now we're ready to rock.
Okay, so let's start with the news, the big news that Bill Chisholm is officially official. The governor, owner, whatever you want to call him. Wick Grossbeck is not. He is the alternate governor with Aditya Mittal, another one of the investors, one of India's richest families there. So super rich people from around the world have gathered to buy the Boston Celtics.
Own the Boston Celtics.
That's right. And that's honestly, this is what it takes, man. This is a $7 billion entity. The Grossbecks and their partners paid like $300 and something million for the team. And that's like, hey, let's get a few rich people together. We'll all chip in and we'll buy a team. And you didn't even really need to do that. Now there's 5 people in the world, maybe, who can just outright, I own this team now. So
as an aside, it's got to take away some of the flex, doesn't it?
Right.
Like before, it used to be like, bro, I own my favorite team from when I was growing up. Like I used to love this team, and now I own them, and that's sick. And now it's like, now I own them with 17 other dudes. Like, all right, good for you.
I would be surprised if it is 17 other dudes. I honestly, I think it's going to be like 30, 40.
Yeah, like way more. Yeah.
One of the things I am dying to find out, and I can't wait to dig into this, who exactly has invested in this Boston Celtics team? Who is the ownership group? Who has pitched in even $1 million? Because in their conversation with the Globe, they said, Chisholm said Wick's ownership dipped below 15%. We had a lot of demand for investors to put money in, so we raised a little bit more money. That's been part of the delay. More people wanted in. Yeah. And so how many people wanted it? How many people can flex and say, I own the Boston Celtics? And further, can they gather together all of their votes and outvote Bill Chisholm?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Chisholm is the majority owner, but he has to own at least 15%. He says he's taking his group is taking 51% ownership.
Yeah.
But what's that group?
Right.
That's what I want to know. Can 20 people get together and be like, I don't like the way Bill's doing things. We're getting together. We're overruling him. And like, we want Wick out. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Can they do stuff like that? Can there be a coup?
Yeah, cool. I love it. No, I mean it's really funny because I feel like teams are getting so expensive that we're just kind of backdooring our way into every team being the Green Bay Packers, where it's like, no, like we literally needed the entire city of Boston to pitch in $50. Now we're all owners of the Celtics, and it's great. It's we nationalized sports. It's good.
Seriously, I mean you are they're selling shares.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a curious. I have been just, I don't know, confused, curious about this whole thing. This is not what I expected a sale to be. I just expected it to be like the Celtics announced they're for sale. Okay, no problem. Much like the Lakers.
Right.
They didn't even announce it for sale. It's just like, this dude is coming in. He's buying the team. This is what he's paying for it. And that's it. And it'll be done. It's a done deal. No problem. This has been, hey, this dude's coming in. He's actually not doing media. He's talking to like 2 people. He's not available. We're not sure who the investors are. No one's actually heard of this guy. Honestly, like, I'm just so confused by, how do other rich people not know who Bill Chisholm is before this? Right? Aren't all rich people? If he has a 15% stake in the team, that's hundreds of millions of dollars. How do you have hundreds of $1 million and other people with hundreds of $1 million be like, I've never heard of this dude?
Yeah.
You're in the same circles.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, when he first was like buying the team, I was like, Symphony Technology. So is he like really into music? Like what? But it's, I don't know. It was it was very strange watching him come in because especially when you had a certain expectation of the type of person who could buy the Boston Celtics, right? Like you would assume initially like, oh man, the Celtics are for sale. That's going to take like, Bezos kind of money. That's going to take like, Saudi kind of money. Like you thought that was going to be that kind of like one entity investment. And the answer was no, like it required much, much more. So yeah, strange situation.
I'm still curious to see how this works. It seems on the surface that Bill Chisholm and Wick Grossbeck are buddy, and they're going to, it's, as Wick has said, we're shoulder to shoulder, and Wick's the CEO, and
I believe Chisholm said arm in arm too, like
arm in arm, shoulder in shoulder, hand in hand, cheek to cheek, whatever they're going to be. They're dancing, slow dancing. Wick and Bill Chisholm as the Celtics do whatever they got to do to get back to whatever it is they want to do, which brings me to the quote from Bill Chisholm: "We're not playing for second place," which is obvious. Like no one's coming in. He's not going to take the team and be like, yeah, we're going to suck for a little bit. We're not playing for second place. What are you playing for? You're playing for 8th, 10th, 15th. I mean, what are the Celtics playing for here? But look, I feel like he came in, the second apron stuff happened. I think that would have happened, Chisholm or not. Now comes the like, all right, whatever. You could take a summer of me flapping my gums and shut me up by just business as usual. Let's go. We're going to find the great next players. We're just doing what we're going to do. There's no interference. There's no, back room. Like, hey, should we be spending this much money type of stuff? The Celtics are going to have to, like, obviously this year is going to be this year. What's going to happen next summer? Like that to me is the next step in building this team, and what the Celtics do is going to be the most interesting and telling part about what the Chisholm ownership is going to be.
Yeah. Because we're about to get into this, but like Wick is not talking a small game, right? And Wick has never been a guy to like kind of, Wick's always been, there's going to be fireworks and who knows? But
man, that quote is just never going to go away. It's going to be on his tombstone. Here lies Wick Grossbeck. He promised fireworks once.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big quote, and he's still firing them off. So yeah.
Yeah. So all of this stuff, it leads us into Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which we've been talking a lot about. Should the Celtics tank, and why they should and why they shouldn't? And Jayson Tatum, should he come back if he's healthy, or should they just hold him out? And all of these existential kind of like, debates. What we haven't talked about is the two things you need for those to happen, and why that's just like practically impossible. Jaylen Brown buying into a tank and Jayson Tatum saying, yeah, sure, I won't play. Like, what? We'll get into those two impossible things when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most of you cannot name all of the financial accounts that you have or what you're even worth. I forget. Like, I literally yesterday forgot. I'm like, oh, that's right. I have this account where I have some money stashed away for, an emergency. So whether it's a 401k, property, or investments, when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes on Monarch Money. You can see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching one of those disgustingly boring and confusing spreadsheets. So link all your accounts to Monarch and immediately spot subscriptions that you didn't realize you were using. How many of us, like, I've subscribed to 1 million streaming things. I don't even know what I'm paying for anymore. So you can cancel those and save some money. Monarch makes it simple to review finances with your partner. You can both set goals, budgets, and spending activity all in one place. So don't let a financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year right now at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONNBA. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. We're still going strong on Locked On NBA. Make that your second listen, second and third listen, because we got Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Night. When the season starts back up, Game Night covers all the games in the league. But right now, Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Night, get all the big stories covered. So just double-barreled NBA coverage throughout what you might consider the dead part of the schedule, but we're still going. You can listen to 3 NBA podcasts if you want in August. Where else are you going to find that outside of the Locked On Podcast Network? Let's get back to the discussion here with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. And let's just start with Jaylen Brown because I think he's the more important one here. I wrote about this today on Boston Sports Journal. And the way I framed it is fans are asking the Celtics to make 2 critical mistakes this upcoming season. Critical mistake number 1 is telling Jaylen Brown, hey, buddy, we're tanking. We need you to back off. We need you to play 25 minutes and not take advantage of this one opportunity that you have to prove that you're a number 1 guy. Tom, this is Jaylen Brown's 10th season in the league coming up. This is his last season in his 20s. He turns 29 in October. When next season, he will be 30. So this is it for Jaylen. And you've heard Jaylen talk. He talks about, sacrifice. He knows in Jaylen's mind, he says without saying, I'm much better than what I've shown. But I take a step back because that's what the team needs, and I'm all about the team. Now, you can look around. It's obvious. Team's not that great.
Yeah.
But Jaylen is still Jaylen. 29 years old. This one shining moment for Jaylen. You're the number 1 guy. You're either going to prove it, and we'll see where that goes, or you're going to prove that you're not, and you just be like, well, I guess I need Jayson Tatum after all, and you just shut the hell up and play out the season as a 1A or a 2 and just roll to the Hall of Fame. Just you're going to be a Hall of Famer, so it's all good. Like nothing wrong. You're making tons of money, made $50 million last year. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. But Tom, there's no way in hell that Jaylen Brown is going to pass up this opportunity to play his butt off and prove I'm a number one option. And that is counter to anything close to tanking.
Yes, correct. And I think if you're the Celtics, I mean, I think that's got to be your first consideration when you're thinking about which direction you want to go, right? Like, because he's not going to. He's not going to like take a step back. He's not going to, just want to rest for the sake of resting. Like, he's not going to want to do that stuff. I think the thing, if you're the Celtics, that you're really hoping is like, okay, Jaylen, we understand that this is like a big opportunity for you to show stuff, and we think you're awesome, and we think that you're capable of doing all this stuff. Like, that's why they invested the amount of money that they invested in him. Right. They also think very highly of Jaylen Brown. You and I think very highly of Jaylen Brown. Like, he's an awesome basketball player. I also think that, like, if you're the Celtics, you're a little concerned about just like, okay, please don't overdo it. Please don't go so hard in being the number one option that you end up injured. Please don't let this awful season, or not awful, I mean, it might not be an awful season, honestly. It might just kind of be a somewhat down season, but please don't let this somewhat down season, Wick talking about, we're not playing for second place. Don't let a season where you're playing for, like you said, where realistically you're playing for seventh place. Don't let that bleed into a season where you can truly, like, realistically play for first place. I think that's one of the big concerns here, is just like, I mean, like the load that gets put on Jaylen Brown's shoulders. It's not going to be small this year. And he hasn't always been the most durable player. He's tough, but I wouldn't say that he's durable necessarily. He's had, knocks.
That's
here
fair.
And there. He's had,
that's fair.
And that's not, and he hasn't had, to be clear, he hasn't had any, like, I don't know. I guess he has had season-ending injuries. So yeah, he's had injuries, right? He's had moments where, he's an explosive player. I feel like, explosive players often, you go up high, you have more of a chance to come down wrong. So like, I think if you're the Celtics, just that's your hope, right? It's just like, okay, whatever happens this year is great. As long as everybody stays healthy, get through the season, as best you can, and don't let this year bleed into next year.
But for Jaylen, I don't want to say he's going to go for himself, but he definitely has something to prove, right? Like, and you mentioned he's an explosive player. So his best play is going to happen this season, next season, the season after. It's like pretty soon that athleticism is going to start going away. And he has to maximize this stuff now. So whether it's playing, like, just letting him cook, and he is the number one option. And look, being the number one option doesn't mean averaging 35 points a game. I mean, maybe he does try to average 27, 28, 30, whatever. More than that, he needs to show increased ability to manipulate the defense. He needs to play, I don't want to say like play more like Jayson Tatum, but like you do need to be drawing those double teams, accept the double teams, back up, create 4-on-3 for your teammates, be that guy, play hard on both ends, be that leader. Like he has shown that. Now he needs to like maximize that.
Yeah.
Where does that lead this? Where does that lead the Celtics? No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I like what we've seen from Jaylen in those moments, right? Like when he's had those moments to manipulate the defense, he's actually done quite well, especially in recent years. I feel like that's really been something that he has grown in. And I do think, I think that's something that fans maybe don't notice as well, when it's like, hey, like this guy is taking a step back on purpose, right? Like there are things that he is not doing on purpose, and like that's harder to spot sometimes. Sometimes it just looks like, because he's not playing as free, right? Talk about all the time, like, bench guys who come in when they know they get to just be the star, they play better. And it's like, well, yeah, because he's almost playing a role. He's playing a role as a second banana kind of guy. Yeah. And we have seen him be very much like, top dog kind of player. So yeah, I mean, it's again, I think you and I have both said this. It's like it's really understandable why he feels like, he's had to make these sacrifices, like because he has to an extent. It has been a little bit of a sacrifice for him.
It has been, and he's been
Which
very vocal.
we should all be so lucky to make sacrifices to be a $50 million Hall
That's
Hall
right.
of Fame player.
Yes,
Like
I understand that.
Cry me a river, but also like he has had to make sacrifices.
Also, like it's funny because he had that interview, that staged sort of interview on Instagram, but he had a line in there where he said he was asked, "Do you keep a lot of money in the bank?" Which is weird, and then he said, "No, a lot of the richest people, social capital is what they're after." Like, okay, that to me, that's like Jaylen doesn't say stuff without like it really meaning something. Social capital, that means that Jaylen Brown wants to be seen as a certain kind of player. He wants that. He craves that. He can say I don't care about that stuff. BS. That is bull. No way do I believe that, because I can tell Jaylen thinks he's hiding his emotions. He is not. No. He cannot hide his emotions. You know when he's pissed off. You know when he's happy. You know when he's proud of himself. And you know when he's mad at himself. It's very, very obvious. He's not great at hiding that stuff. He wants to be seen as what he thinks he is at his best. And this season is his chance. He gets to prove it without leaving. And then from there, he can say, hey, I've proven it to myself. Now I want to leave and do this. I actually believe like this is, I think teams have seen it. It's time for me to move on. And okay, fine. Then you've now let Jaylen Brown, already a great player, play himself into a number one option. Teams looking for a number one option, be like, sure. And I think with the collective bargaining agreement, shorter windows anyway. So what, you only get 3 years of prime, like Jaylen Brown left. That's all you have time for anyway.
Right.
So a team could be like, yeah, we'll give you picks. We'll give you young players. We'll give you, whatever you're looking for. And that's the Celtics now saying, okay, Jayson Tatum comes back. You still have Derek White. You still have, Peyton Pritchard off the bench. Now we're going to get some decent role players. Maybe now you can Indiana Pacers this thing and build your next version of a contender with one megastar and a bunch of like good role players. Maybe that's the way it goes. But forget the tank. And I didn't even talk about Derek White has something that he wants to prove. He's got much more opportunity. Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, too much talent on this team to just say, hey guys, we need you to tank. It's not going to happen. And asking Jaylen Brown to do it, it's going to piss him off. You risk losing that locker room. Like, if Jaylen's pissed off at the team, what's that locker room going to be like?
I mean, we saw what pissed off Terry Rozier did to a locker room, and he was like a seventh man. Some flashcard Friday, I would like some listener to send in. I want us to do our version of that iconic tweet that's like typical QB tweet. Love my teammates. God is good. RB tweet. Keep grinding. Tight end tweet. Derp. Wide receiver tweet. The enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife. Jaylen Brown is absolutely the wide receiver tweet. Like, the enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife is prime Jaylen Brown.
Jayson Tatum is part of this too.
And he would be the QB tweet. So
he would be. He would be. And you know what? The Celtics could also piss him off by asking him to do something or not do something. We'll talk about that when we come back. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Make sure that if you want to keep up on your favorite team, your NFL team, favorite NFL, Locked On, whatever NFL team, Locked On NFL. Locked On Baseball, whatever MLB team, Red Sox, Patriots, whatever fan. We got something for everybody. So go check that out. Whatever your favorite team is, it's not just the Celtics. We got podcasts for everybody. So Tom, the Jaylen Brown stuff, this is going to be, I think, a year-long discussion.
Yeah.
So we can dive deeper into that another time. But I want to get into the Jayson Tatum thing because when he shared a video on his Instagram recently, is showing showing Nick Sang with like the squat rack, the Smith machine, and like all this crazy stuff. And he says in there in the middle of the video, I ain't in here 6 days a week for no reason. And I'm like, that's the, you know, the meme, like, oh, there, that's the one, that's the line that tells me this dude, you cannot tell me he won't play this season if he is cleared. And I stress, if he is cleared, I want to make sure everybody understands, not rushing back, none of that stuff. Go at the normal pace. But if the normal pace, going through all the steps, getting all the trainers and doctors and everybody, you can get the Pope involved, you can get the president involved, you can get anybody you want involved. If everybody involved says, yeah, no, he's good, he is going to play. There is nobody on this earth that's going to look him in the eye if he is ready in February. That's going to look him in the eye and be like, no, we know you're healthy. You're not playing, because this is a badge of pride. Jayson Tatum wants to look like a freaking superhero when he comes back and be like, hey, everybody, look at me, back from an Achilles tear already. How amazing am I? He is not going to pass up that opportunity. Not one bit.
No, for sure. I think when you look at the Celtics team building and you talk about tanking, it was always contingent on certain things going wrong, certain things not progressing in an ideal manner, right? And I mean, my case was always like they would be better off if, you know, like within reason, like you don't want the Achilles thing to be a problem next year, but if Tatum didn't come back, if they had a bad season this year, my contention was always that would be better for him from a team building perspective, because it's anyway. That said, it is, yeah. I mean, you're certainly not going to tell Jayson Tatum. I mean, yeah, what would you do? Tell Jayson Tatum like, no, you can't come back. Like, of course you're not going to do that. You know, right. like one, he wouldn't listen to you. Like, if the doctor told you, like, he would just. I feel like Tatum would just show up on the bench in, you know,
he just gets
like, well, no, I'm here. You can not put me in if you want. I'm not the coach, but I dare you to not put me in, because I'm in my full dress here. I'm ready to go. So, yeah, no, I think, I mean, obviously, if Tatum's ready to come back, Tatum's going to come back, and that's a good thing, right? Like that is better than the alternative. Tatum being back and healthy is better than the alternative. It's better than a tank. And, you know, like the most important thing in the entire Celtics franchise over the next 10 years is the health of Jayson Tatum over the next 4 or 5, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the most important thing. So, yeah, if he's back, if he's ready, then great. You just go with it. And I agree with you completely. I mean, I think everybody who comes back from an injury, when you come back from an injury, you have to kind of tell a story about yourself to yourself, you know? Like, it requires this level of like, okay, like, you know, like, yeah, I'm down right now, but I'm coming back stronger. I'm coming back better. I'm coming, you know, like you gotta have that. Like, whether you're an athlete or not, if you're just like some random dude rehabbing a shoulder, it's like, you know, all that pain that you go through with physical therapy. It's all that work that you go through to get back to something close to where you were. To get to that point, you have to have this, like, I'm coming, I got this. And like, what are you going to kill that momentum for your super duper star? I don't think so.
100% right. Caged lion. All of a sudden, he's like ready to go. That's exactly on point. And if they tell him no, the first thing he's going to do is go on social media and be like, I'm ready. I am ready to play. I am ready to play. Yeah. He will put on social media all the dunks. He will be in it. He'll put a workout in where he's playing 5-on-5. He will do all that stuff. He will force the team to be like, look, he's ready. If he's playing basketball here, then might as well just put him on the floor. What's the difference?
Right.
You know, you can land on somebody's foot in a scrimmage. Yep. So, in fact, I would rather have him put it on a controlled kind of situation where he's around other NBA players where, you know, at least they have they all have supreme body control. Like, I'll never forget Marcus Smart diving for a loose ball out of bounds, seeing a cancer patient in his way mid-dive, turning his body and kind of flipping the other way, completely like Matrix, avoiding this cancer patient. These athletes have incredible control of their bodies. I'd rather have Tatum out with a bunch of those guys than with a bunch of coaches and, G League guys who maybe don't have that same control and end up slamming into him and hurting him. No, I would rather have him out on the NBA floor. But bottom line is, you have Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, the two cornerstones of your franchise. However this team moves forward, those two guys are going to be a huge, massive, obviously part of this one way or another. This team, since Kyrie, has gone through painstaking steps to have nothing but good chemistry, good people, no drama. This is the most drama-free locker room I have ever seen in my life. There is no chance that the Celtics are going to tell Jaylen Brown to do something that's going to piss him off and tell Jayson Tatum to do something that's going to piss him off. And suddenly there is drama in that locker room, and it's coming from your two best players. That would just destroy everything. And at that point, you might as well just blow it up anyway.
Right.
So,
for sure.
and no one wants to do that because you have these two guys and you have a chance with these two guys. So Jaylen's going to go do his thing. Jason's going to, again, got to be clear on this. When he is cleared by everybody, like quadruple, quintuple check, everybody's good. And if that's February 1st, then Jayson Tatum, congratulations. And he gets to put out his documentary, which he's shooting, whatever. He gets to do all his interviews with the major outlets, and it's all coming. You know how this is going to go. So just let them do it, and then they'll be happy, and then good things will happen. Good vibes all around. They will be fine and dandy after that.
Way to bring that around.
Nice callback, huh?
That was professional right there.
All right. All right. I'm going to end this professionally by saying thank you, Tom. Always appreciate you, my man.
Appreciate you, man.
And I do appreciate all of you who are listening, watching on YouTube, however you're listening, everydayers who are with me every show, generally Monday through Friday. Hell, when the season starts, could be 6 days a week. I've done 7 days a week. So I've gone on 2+ week podcasting binges because the Celtics, I podcast after every game. So make sure you are subscribed. This show is free, available everywhere podcasts exist. It's on YouTube. You can get to the comment section, share your thoughts with me, share your thoughts with your fellow Celtics fans, and then share the podcast. Tell everybody you know that they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day.